Hey, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming. If you are returning, thank you for coming back to watch another video. Today, I will be vlogging my trip to Las Vegas, so tune in. I decided that it would be kind of cool and sort of different for me to bring in the new year in Las Vegas. I spent the first half of my trip at the Mirage Hotel, which was part of the MGM brand. In between the time I booked and the time I arrived, the Mirage sold to the Hard Rock Casino, so it is now a Hard Rock Hotel, but the check-in was seamless. I had no issues whatsoever. This was the room that I stayed in. They do have an option between rooms in a regular building and in the tower. I did read that the tower bathrooms were a little bit bigger, so I did stay in the tower, and the room was okay. It wasn't really anything to brag about. These rooms were about $250 a night, and plus the resort fee on New Year's Eve. And I really found it kind of at the last minute. I thought that was a really good price. And this is their like famous pool. They had a fire show there, and I'm very upset because I never got to catch it. So my first stop was to get some libations and something to eat. The strip does shut down at about 4 p.m. So you want to get whatever you need done before then. I bought VIP tickets to Tao, which were worth the price, but really I should have just stayed out and watched the fireworks because I would have enjoyed that much more. Didn't think about that, so I goofed on that, but I know better next time. I went to grab something to eat before my adventure the next day. This here is the Caesar Palace Hotel, which was right next to the Mirage. By the way, if anything is like right next to each other in Vegas, it's still a long ass walk. Like within the hotel is a long walk, so just always be prepared for that. I definitely have flats with me everywhere I went. This here was down by the Link Hotel. The Flamingo and the Candy Martini bar was here. There seemed to be a lot of action down here, but I just stopped really quickly by the Gordon Ramsay fish and chip takeout. They actually had a couple of seats in there. It can get crowded, but if you wait just a few minutes, you may be able to grab a seat. I was able to, and I built my box, and I had lobster, fish, and shrimp. I much rather the shrimp and fish on 145th Street in St. Nick in Harlem. So Adrenaline Rush Sling Shot Rentals was the next adventure. I rented a Sling Shot. So the Sling Shot rental was by the hour. I rented it for 2 hours, and I guess you're able to go wherever you like. You can drive into the city if you want because it is considered a car. It can go on the highway. I wanted to take a scenic route, so I went to Red Rock Canyon. I do want to note that Adrenaline Rush was about a 7-minute Uber from the Mirage Hotel. They were very nice and accommodating. They were also the cheapest that I could find as far as the Slingshot rentals. I do have a lot more information on the Slingshot and going to Red Rock Canyon, and I will have that in a separate video if you are interested. Before I did return the rental, I stopped by a dispensary. They are all over in Vegas. Of course, you cannot film inside of there, but they had plenty of options, and I was definitely satisfied. The Reef is actually owned by Wiz Khalifa, so I was happy to support. That night, I did have reservations for Nobu. I had heard so much about Nobu. I didn't really research what type of restaurant it was. I just made reservations, thought it would be nice. And I thought it was so overrated. I could barely find anything on the menu to order. This was some type of beef tenderloin thing. I had to damn near beg for some white rice to go with it because rice is not like a thing they have on their menu. So, whatever. I like a little bougie sometime, but this was way too bougie for me. I couldn't tell you that I would ever go back to Nobu in any city again, but I did look cute. Ew. The next day, I did check out of the Mirage. I had to take a picture in front of this cute little fountain. The checkout was just as easy as the check-in was. They also did allow us to leave our bags because I did get there very early. So I have no complaints about the Mirage. Just wasn't the most fancy hotel that I've ever been to. So we are now on day 3, and I decided that it would be fun to go kayaking. Yes, I decided that it would be fun to go kayaking in Vegas. I did not mention that I do not gamble. I don't gamble at all. Not $1, not a quarter, not 50 cents. at all when it comes to casinos. Now, I have gambled on sports before, but just gambling at casinos is just not a thing I do. So me coming to Vegas, I knew that there were other activities that I wanted to be a part of. So what I did was I did book a trip to go kayaking. This is actually in Arizona. So the trip was about an hour and 15 minutes. It was an absolutely beautiful scenic trip, and the kayaking was beautiful as well. I have a whole separate video on going to Emerald Cove is what the kayaking place was called. So I have a whole video on that, and I'm going to share that. I love for you to watch that in full so you can really grasp and get the full experience. It was actually really cool. I won't hold you. Your girl had a time getting used to the whole kayak situation. We had to rearrange and do some things, but there was some beautiful scenery. There's part of the kayaking where you're like actually in between Nevada and Arizona, and y'all know I love corny little details like that, but definitely look out for that video. So the Venetian was the next hotel that I stayed in. I actually stayed in the Venetian Tower and the Palazzo Tower, so I do also have another video where I'll go into detail between the difference of the Venetian and the Palazzo Tower. Both were very, very beautiful. Both were suites. They were absolutely gorgeous. I would absolutely stay at the Venetian again. I absolutely fell in love with the mirror and their bathroom. It was just so fire. So yes, the slot machines do not tempt me at all. So walking through the casino is not an issue. It's just crazy to me how long it takes to just get to the elevator. This night I decided to stay in the Venetian and eat at the Grand Lux Cafe, which is somewhere I have eaten before. It is definitely a franchise that is all over, part of the Cheesecake Factory. I never had this before. This was a appetizer of shrimp and some garlic bread, and it was bomb. Anyone who knows me knows that when I go to the Cheesecake Factory, I always order the shrimp scampi with no tomatoes and extra sauce. I ordered that here, and it was amazing. I have got to say, the last time that I went to the Grand Lux, I was not impressed, and this time really impressed me. I thought everything was really delicious. This was my favorite meal in Las Vegas. My dessert, oh my God. I waited 25 minutes for them to bake these cookies for me, and when I tell you, it was worth every second. And the next morning, I woke up and ate a cookie before I brushed my teeth. That's how real it was, okay? So it was my last day in Vegas, and there were a lot of different places off of the strip that I wanted to go to that I didn't have a chance to go to. But this last day, by the way, you see those stairs? It takes like 20 minutes just to get across the street to wherever you want to go, because everywhere is a highway. So you have to like go up the escalator and go up the stairs to go around. But you got to do it like 3 times just to get across the street. Anyway, interesting. But it's so beautiful everywhere that you go, everywhere that you walk through. I really enjoyed it. The weather was about 50, 60 degrees. And again, this was New Year's weekend. So I think that's typical weather for Vegas at that time. Anyway, I did want to stop by at least one Black-owned business. So I did manage to make it to LoLo's Chicken and Waffles. I did go to LoLo's on a Tuesday at about 12 p.m. and there was an hour and a half wait. Now, I was willing to wait, especially since we didn't have an Uber, but I was starving, y'all, so don't judge me. But there was a Bahama Breeze like right next door. So we went over there. A quick margarita and an appetizer hit the spot exactly where it needed to be hit. We actually had the crab and 3 cheese dip, and it was so good. I don't have a Bahama Breeze near me, but yes, it was a couple of plantain chips in there too. Yes. Anyway, back to LoLo's. After about an hour and 15-minute wait, we did go inside. I did see why the wait was so long, because it was definitely a nice crowd inside, nice decor. You know, y'all know I love decor. This was the menu. They actually had a lot more menu items than I expected. A lot of soul food was on the menu. I was only interested in the chicken and waffles, especially since I had a little appetizer across the street. They also have a drinks menu. They have all types of Kool-Aid on tap, and they also have adult drinks. They had a few variations, but I simply had 2 chicken wings with the waffle, and it was so good. I'm like a Waffle House head, and I feel like I can't eat there no more. I would say anybody who is in Las Vegas should definitely try LoLo's. Definitely be prepared for a wait. So that pretty much sums up my trip to Las Vegas for 2023's New Year. I do want to remind you that I will have a separate video on the Venetian Hotel. We'll have a separate video on Emerald Cove, and one more video on the Sling Shot to Red Rock Canyon. I think those were really interesting and they deserve their own time on their own video. I do hope that you found some value in this video, and if you did, I do hope that you would give it a thumbs up and that you would subscribe to this channel. If you do hit the notification bell, then you will be notified every time that I post a new video, and I would appreciate that so much. I do want to thank you again for watching, and I do hope to see you soon.